Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and this is another year of granny squares. Now I'm hoping to make quite a big sized project with this square. However, yesterday while I was crocheting I had a real bad pain in this part of my hand. It was almost like like a nerve, and it was just the pain was shooting through my hand, and it's held me up a bit. It's a lot better this morning, but I'm a bit wary of whether it might return. So I've got two here to show you, and this one is a DK weight, and I've made a similar one to this before for a project, but it wasn't identical. And then I decided to do it in an Aran weight. So this is a 4-weight Aran, and I like this one. I changed the centre a little bit. I really like this one, so I'm going to go with this one here. And I'm using some Aran weight yarn, and I'm using King Cole Comfort Aran, and I didn't have the lemon in the Comfort Aran, so I'm using James Seabrett Baby Soft Aran. So I'm going to clear all this away and get straight into the tutorial, and hopefully at the end of the tutorial there'll be a nice big project, but if not it will appear a little later. So I'm going to clear this away then, and we'll get started on this. I'll be back in a few seconds. Sorry about that, I was a little distracted by a delivery driver just turned up. Always come at the time when I'm doing the tutorial. Okay, so for this tutorial I'm going to start with a magic ring, magic loop, magic circle. I've heard them called all of those, but my way is very simple. If you haven't seen it before, leave a very long tail for sewing it in and just make a loop. Pop the hook in, bring the yarn through, and then you do one chain and you're done. I'll show you again because that was a little difficult to see. Do a loop, hook in, yarn through, one chain, all done. Simple as that. Okay, so for an Aran, usually you don't use a 4.5, but I'm going to, because I want this to be nice and tight. I love this kind of denseness, and that's what I really want for the project that I'm going to make with it. Okay then, so I'm going to do 6, not 5, 6 UK half treble crochets inside this ring, working over the tail. So a half treble is a half double in the US. So if you hear me refer to a half treble, you'll know. If you're working in US terms, it's a half double. I'm sorry if you heard my stomach growl then, it was a bit loud. So I'm going to just do the first one with you. It's yarn over into the ring, yarn over and pull up the loop. So we've got 3 on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And I'm going to do another 5 inside this ring. Nice and simple. I really do need to eat, don't I? Sorry about that if you heard that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. If you ever get stuck, just count the V's and you'll know if you've done enough or not. Okay, so I'm going to pull on this and tighten it up. Doesn't have to be mega tight, although that did tighten up rather nicely. I'm going to go into my very first one, the 2 V's, as you can see up the top there. Well, the stitch making the V. Yarn over, pull it through and pull it through the loop on my hook to close that off. So now I've got 6 little stitches. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a popcorn stitch. I'll refer to it, hopefully, as pop from now on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2. Now, normally I would do a stack, but I don't really want a big fat one at the beginning. I want them all to be even, okay? So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go into the same stitch and do 4 UK treble crochets in the same space. I forgot to mention that. It gets a bit tight, this. It's lovely, but it is a very congested space that we're dealing with. More so on the last one. So that's with the 2 chain is 1, 2, 3, 4. I want one more in there. I'm going to take out my hook and I'm going to go into the top of my 2 chain, put that hook back on, and nice and loosely I'm going to drag that through my first stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1, and that's the popcorn done. So I'm going to go into the next one and do 5 UK treble crochets. We did 4 in that one because we had the 2 chain. So I'll just do this one with you. Okay, so that should be 5 then. And what you need to do then is you can count back 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th one, you insert your hook, grab that loop there, and just pull it through your first one nice and loosely and do a chain. Now we have 2, they look like bunny ears. We're going to go in the 3rd one and do the same, and then, well, basically we want 4 more and in our 4 stitches that remain. So I'm going to pause the video then, and I will catch up with you once I've done 4 more of these. If you need a recap, then just go back and watch this one again. Okay, so I've done my last, I've done my chain, and now we need to secure it. So if you turn it over, you've got this part at the back. You can just insert your hook and do a slip stitch to join. I'm going to do a chain, cinch it down, and cut my yarn and pull it through. Now don't worry about the ends on this particular project, because apart from the center ring, which you can pull tight now, you will have worked over every single one. You just need to secure this one first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, I could do that now. It would save a lot of worrying about it. So I'm just going to get a darning needle and secure that now, because I think it'd be easier to do it now. Medium size one. We've got quite large yarn really, as it's Aran. And just pull that through. So to secure it then, it's nice and tight. Just going to go back through the last kind of stitch, and before I pull that loop all the way, I'm going to go back through that loop and pull it tight as a knot. And now I'm just going to bury this in that center ring. Just go back through those stitches. It's easier said than done because they are now lovely and tight. So even if I have to do it in a couple of little segments, that is fine. Just bury that, it won't come out again. That's it, that's enough. And we can get rid of that one as well. So put that to one side. Now we've got our little flower of popcorns. I'm going to take off my yellow and I'm going to bring in my sea green. If you want to know the colours that I'm using, then this one is just yellow. It hasn't got a name. This one is called Cool Mint, and we have this pink one, which is candy pink, and obviously white. So, but you can use whatever colours you like, but I know that some people do like to know what colours I've used. So now we're going to join to our flower anywhere you like in between any of these little pops. So I'm going to bring in my new yarn and I'm going to join it. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to do another popcorn in that same, and I'm going to work over the tail that I am now. I've just got another tail where I've just joined. So that's 3 with the chain, 4 and 5. Take out my hook, go to my very first stitch, which is the chain, and pull that through there nice and loosely and chain one. So now we've gone over that, I'm going to continue to work over this tail. When I get to that one, I'm going to work over that one as well. So now we have to go into the top of our popcorn, but we're not going into the top here. We are going to yarn over and we're going to go, if you look, you can see there's the ring made by your popcorn. I'm going to go into the center of it and work through that back and just pop my tail over it as well. So it's one. If you like, it's like looking down its throat. 2, 3, 4, and my last one, 5. Yarn, hook out, rather, not yarn out, into the first one, grab that and pull it through, and one chain. So now we've gone in between. At the top, we now have to go back in between the next two. So we started with 6, and at the end of this round, we'll have 12 because we're going to double it. We're going to go between and in the actual popcorns. But what I will say is it's very easy to miss one because it is so tight and sort of squished together that you can easily miss one. And on the one that I showed you here, when I'd got to the end of there, I did not have enough. I was one missing, and the one that I'd missed was right at the start, so I had to frog the whole round just to get that one back. So if you're confused as to where your stitch is, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pop that in there, put the hook back and pull that through and do a chain. We don't want that to be tight because when we come to go down the throat of our popcorn, it helps if it's not. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that again down this one, and I'm making sure that the tail's still caught, and I'm going to do my next one in there. And that is our repeat for this round. 1 in between and 1 in the top. Well, it's kind of at the back but the top, if you know what I mean. So 1 in the popcorn, 1 in between. That's a better way of putting it. And it is hard sometimes to not grab bits of the other 1, 2, 3, 4, I think that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. One more left. It's easier when you're not on camera to actually get this and do it. It's much easier. Pull that through and do 1 chain. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go between at the top, between at the top, work over this tail, between at the top, between, and I will catch up with you once I get to this last one here, and I'll have worked over this tail as well. And so I'm going to snip this one off now because you don't have to work over it until the end. Of course, it's so thick in there. There's a little tiny bit still attached there. It's so thick and condensed that you're working over quite a bit anyway. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video then, and I will catch up with you once I get back to this one here. Okay, so I've done my last one, and we should now have doubled. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to join this one exactly the same way as before at the back here and end this colour. And I can cut that one because I worked over it, and that can go. Right, so I'm going to bring in my next colour, which is that pink. So I chose these colours so that they would be nice and summery, and I have 2 projects in mind for this particular pattern. Well, actually I have 3. You know, it's quite versatile. So now we're going to double this again. So we're going to go in between and in the popcorn. So at the end of this round, I always say row when it's a round, we will have 24. So as you can imagine, it does get a little bit tight in there. but we mustn't miss one. Okay, so I'm going to start at the opposite end to my other tail, and I'm just going to bring in my new colour. Work over the tail of this, and that's just great news to my ears because that's no sewing. So 2 chain and 4 UK trebles, exactly the same as before. And we go into the first one. And incidentally, I noticed one earlier earlier on when I was making these, it didn't look right, and it was because it turned itself in the other way. So watch out for that you don't have one that looks weird and you think you've done it wrong. It's not, it's just popped in the other way. So now we're going to go into the top of the popcorn, exactly the same as before. So word of warning on this round, it gets very, very congested and tight. So whatever you do, don't miss one. You need to have 24 at the end of this. And it does, as you can see, it scrunches them together really nicely. So you make sure that if you've gone in the top, you pull it aside a little bit and you work into the in-between part for the next one. And over the tail at the same time if you can. Saves you a bit of work later on. So I'll do this last one with you and then I will pause it and catch up with you at the end. So that should be 5 into my first one, pop that back on, bring it through and do a chain. So now that's in between, I've got to do this one here, looking down its throat if you like. So make sure then that you do one in between, one in the popcorn. When you get to this part, well, when I get to this part, I'm going to work over that tail as well. And I will catch up with you then when I get back. So my next one should be, my last one should be in here. And I shall have 24 of these popcorns. Okay, so I've gone all the way around and all I have to do now is count them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Thank goodness for that. Would have been embarrassing if I'd got it wrong on camera, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to go into the back of that one and join up, secure that and snip off and end that colour. So that ends the kind of rosette flower part of the tutorial. So just need to take away the pink yarn and bring in my white to do the edging. Okay, so to do this edge then, we'll just bring in our white, smooth everything out of the way, and you join it in between any of our segments. So we don't really want to join it where the other tail is. So we're going to join it here. Doesn't matter where you join it at all. And we're going to join and make one stack stitch. So that's yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both of those. And then go into this vertical bar with your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through both of those. So that is the stack double crochet in the UK, stack single in the US. You can just chain 2, but I prefer doing that. And I'm going to put one UK treble in that same space. So it's yarn over into the space, yarn over and pull up the loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that's going to be half of a corner. So in the next space, I'm going to put 2 UK half trebles. So that's a half double in the US. So it's yarn over into the stitch, working over the tail, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. I'm going to put another one in that same space. So all of these segments have 2 stitches in them. And in the next 3, I'm going to put UK double crochets, which are single crochets in the US. 1, 2, and I need to do 2 more, exactly the same. And just like here, I'm going to do 2 half trebles. Okay, and in this very segment here, I'm going to put full corner, which will consist of 2 UK trebles. It should be the last time I work over the tail. 1 chain and 2 more in the same space. Just hold on to that tail so it doesn't go through the loop. And the little bit at the end can cut off. Give it a tug so it's a little bit more. Get rid of that before I forget to do it. It looks tufty. Now that is a whole side. Well, apart from it's got half a corner at this end. So I'm going to mirror exactly what I did along there. So in here, 2 half trebles. And 3 lots of 2 UK double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And in the next one, 2 half trebles. And then in this one, a full corner. And when I can, I'll start working over that tail. So we're going to repeat across here exactly what we've done along here. So it'll be 2 half trebles, 1, 2, 3 half doubles, a half treble, a corner. Half trebles, 1, 2, 3 half doubles, half trebles, and I'll catch up with you. I'm going to pause the video. I'll catch up with you when we come to this part to finish off the corner. Okay, so I'm back to my corner, and as you can see, it's still got a slightly rounded vibe, but it's not, it's being pulled into the shape of a square. So I'm going to finish this corner by doing 2 UK trebles in that space, and then into the top of the stack, which is these 2 loops here. Hope you can see it with the white. I'm just going to insert my hook and do a UK double crochet. And now my yarn is dead center in that corner, and we've got the beginnings of a square coming along. So now I'm going to yarn over, go straight into that space created there, and do 2 UK half treble crochets. And now I'm going to do 1 in every single stitch all the way along. So I'm going to just go into the top of the stitches and do 1 UK half treble in every single one of them, all along this side. Nice and simple. It shan't take long to get to the corner, so I'll stay with you rather than pause it, because I won't be a second before I'm there. Okay, nearly there. Just these 2. Now we're at the corner. So in the corner, we're just going to put 3. And then we're going to go all the way along the side, 3 in the corner, all the way along the side, 3 in the corner, all the way along the side. I'm going to pause the video then, and I'll catch up with you once I get back to here again. Okay, So here I am, I'm back at the corner. I'm going to finish that off by putting one more into that corner and then finding the top of my next one and just slip stitch into there. I'm going to do a chain, cinch it down, and I'm going to end off that. And there we go, we have a nice corner. So that's the end of the square section. So if you want to just do the square, hopefully, as I said, my hand and everything will be permitting to take it on to making a project with you on this particular video. If it doesn't, then I will come back with that once I can. So hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next square in this series of a year of granny squares. Bye bye for now.